course, you're welcome to Starr 103.5 FM. Simply the best. And we couldn't have captured it more accurately. I keep telling you that Wednesday evening, you're better off listening to me on Starr 103.5 FM. And I'm sure you've been enjoying all our programs from morning. A big thank you for tuning in and for staying with us on this dial, 103.5 FM. It's time for your award-winning personality profile show on radio, Starr Chart. And I'm happy to say that Starr Chart is in association with Dove. Dove truly cares, and Pepsodent. Every smile matters. I don't know why the sales team have gone for two brands that I am particularly very happy about. Dove, because I use Dove deodorant so much. Pepsodent, because I have been in awe with their Brush With Me campaign, and I love brands that truly care about people. They go beyond just business. They care. They show more concern. And so I've been awed with the Brush With Me campaign. I'll tell you more about it in a bit. But yes, you're welcome to Starr 103.5 FM Starr Chat with me, Nana Aba Anamoah. Before I introduce my guest, Dove believes that deodorants shouldn't just protect. They should care more for your underarms too. After all, a lot of the best things in life lead us throwing our arms in the air, which is why Dove deodorant is created with our quarter moisturizing cream. What does that mean? It means that the deodorant also cares for your underarm skin, leaving it soft and smooth. So go ahead, lift your arms in confidence, lift them up like you just don't care, because you know what? Dove deodorant cares for your underarm like never before. Dove cares. Also, setting up a routine of brushing properly with a fluoride toothpaste day and night works wonders in boosting your oral health. For this great routine to stick, brushing every day with your family does the trick. That is why your favorite, and this one is not marketing, Pepsodent is the world's favorite oral care brand, has launched the Brush With Me campaign to remind parents of their joyful responsibility in taking care of the oral health of their families by brushing together. You know what they say, that children imitate what they see. So if they constantly see parents brushing their teeth, they will also brush their teeth morning and evening. So hence the Brush With Me campaign. Take action today, because good oral hygiene starts with you. Visit the dentist regularly, brush properly day and night, and invite your family to brush with you. What an experience that will be. That's right. Brushing is better together, and twice a day is the way to go. So invite your family to brush with you. So big thank you to Dove and Pepsodent for the association with this show. Now, my guest tonight has walked in so many shoes and seems to know just when to make an appearance. He began his working life as a reggae broadcaster at GBC, yes I. Then he waltzed into getting to benefit from what ends up on our tables, farming. His ability to communicate very well earned him space to operate as a freelance media journalist, or publicist, I must say. Seeking to serve his people, he walked into the muddy swath of politics, believing the umbrella will give him the best protection in the stormy arena. Rejection was his first encounter as his first ask to represent the people of Ablikuma North constituency in 2012. He switched location to Kumbungu but kept the same vision of representing the people, and he was second time lucky to embrace success in 2016. 4 years later, the party delegates did not renew his bid to be re-elected, which he took on the chin amidst all the reservations. His unrelenting persona made him run for a seat at the Council of State as a regional representative, but he lost. So does he agree with Dave Ramsey, who says that success is akin to standing on a pile of failures? His latest nation-grabbing views on relationship abuse, plus his take on the Sami Jemfi versus Bagbin Haruna verbal tango, gave a glimpse of his maverick attributes on Full Show. The native of Satani in the northern region who journeyed with a dream to win. The Rasta man who eventually shaved off the dreadlocks, the firebrand who holds no prisoners, and the believer of harvesting after sowing seeds, be it on the farm or in communication or on the field of politics. Ras Mubarak is my guest on the award-winning show Starr Chats. You're welcome to the show.
Nana, what a star-studded introduction.
Did you like like it?
Absolutely brilliant.
Did I miss anything?
No, you didn't.
I didn't. It's good to see you.
It's great to see you.
You know, I was actually thinking, have we met? How many times have we met? I'm not too sure.
We've done a lot of
engagements.
interviews.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Radio, TV.
Ah.
But not in person.
Not in person.
So it's good to see
That
you.
is why.
Yes.
That is why. It's good. Definitely good to see you. And you look good, by the way.
Thank you very much. And you look fabulous.
Thank you. What do you use? I like your skin.
Good old Alata Samana.
Do you use any cream? Shea butter?
As and when the wives,
necessary.
as and when the wives,
The wives. How
the
many?
wives make it available.
How many wives do you have?
I have 2 now.
You have 2 wives now. Oh, nice, interesting. We'll get into all of that later. I want us to start with the Council of State elections.
Okay.
Were you surprised at the outcome?
No, I wasn't. It's an election. As a politician, you know that you win some and you lose some.
But it's like back to back from 2020 till now.
From 2020, it was politicians live in the fear of losing elections. Okay. You know, but winning and losing are part of being a politician. If you look at Biden, he's tried many years to be president. You know, luck has just fallen on his lap.
Yes.
You know, and there are histories replete with a lot of examples of politicians. Our president tried, lost a primary, you know, lost the main election, came back again, lost, and luck smiled on him in 2016. You know, so it's part of the cuts and bruises of politics, and I have absolutely no qualms, no fears about, you know, throwing my heart in the ring, you know, to fight for an election.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You're 41.
I'm going to be 42 on the 3rd of June.
Oh, you're a June born. So am I.
Fantastic.
I'm June 90. So that makes you a Gemini.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So that makes the 2 of us. So you have a twin.
Yes.
That sometimes gets into a mood.
Well, every now and then. But you try to keep it in check.
Exactly. I try to subdue mine.
Yeah.
And at 41, soon to be 42, why did you think it was a perfect time to be on the Council of State?
I think it had even been long overdue because if you look at the provisions of the Constitution, there's nowhere in the Constitution that says that the Council of State has to be the exclusive preserve of persons in retirement. You know, and since 1993, we have reduced the Council of State to senior citizens. This is not to discount the contributions of senior citizens, but as a country that is striving to be better, that is striving to embrace diversity, in as much as we need to have senior citizens seated at the table, it is equally important to have persons with disability, to have women, and to have young people. You know, and many people have lived under the misconception that the Council of State was for old people and then for chiefs. You know, so I made a mistake.
Because we associate wisdom with the old.
Not necessarily. I mean, talk about the prophets in the Bible. Talk about Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Talk about Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Talk about the many prophets who walked the surface of the earth. Talk about Kwame Nkrumah, very energetic in his prime, you know, when he led this country into independence. Talk about the people who stood shoulder to shoulder with him. Talk about President Kufuor in the 60s when he served, and Prime Minister Buzia. You know, talk about President Rawlings, you know, when he surrounded himself.
Those are very exciting examples, actually.
Himself, a young person. You know, the ministers who were in their 20s and 30s, you know, whose wisdom and contributions brought this country where it is. Talk about President Mills, talk about President Mahama, and very excitedly, you can even talk about President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, you know.
Because he started at a very young age.
He started at a very young age, but not just starting at a very young age, but at this particular time in his, you know, presidency, we've seen a lot of young people. And for me, I'm very encouraged, you know, by that. Even though we disagree politically, I applaud anybody who includes, you know, young people. My sadness comes from the fact that he doesn't have persons with disability in his administration, as we've seen thus far. And I would love to see more and more persons with disability. I love to see women, and I love to see young people, especially in chief executive officer positions.
Right.
Because it is the time in our lives when we are brimming with ideas. I mean, look at what's shaping the world today.
Mm-hmm. Young people, leading
organizations, making the big changes. So that the time has come for us in looking at the Council of State, to actually include more and more young people whose divergent opinions could also be very fruitful in our nation building.
Okay. Now, just to go back to one of the points that you raised about the president's administration, the minister for the OT region is a person with disability.
As I said, just, I haven't seen that many, so, and then of course, I think that's about it. Minister for
so you expect more?
I expect more, you see, with diversity, we would have better decision making.
How many did President Mahama have?
Off the top of my head, I can no. My DCE in 2016 was a person with disability.
Okay.
The DCE for
then there was a minister for chieftaincy.
Dr. Seydou Dana.
Yeah.
And a few others, up and down.
Okay, that was just by the way. Now, so at the end of the elections at the Council of State, you polled a painful 0.
Again, it's politics.
Why? Why do you think absolutely nobody voted for you?
So you've got a very small electoral college.
Yeah.
Northern region had 32, and as I indicated, there's this notion that the Council of State is the exclusive preserve for senior citizens.
So the perception was that you're too young.
So the perception was that I was too young.
Actually, I look at you and I'll give you 35 or 32.
Well, I try to take good care of myself, eat well, nice. Exercise, associate with a good company. But so we are still held up in the black and white era where we think contributions to nation building is the exclusive
What was the motivation?
For me, I've always loved public service. I mean, at GBC, for instance, I had a lot of offers to work with private media, but I felt, let me stay with a state broadcaster, contribute. At some point, I got tired of, regurgitating what politicians were saying in the news. You pick up a bulletin and as the minister says this, the president says that, come next year or next 4 years, it's the same old story. And I felt, why don't you roll up your sleeve and get involved? Because time and again, we hear people complain that, oh, politicians, you're crooks. Politicians are sleazy. But well, the 99% of sleazy ones, no, I mean the 1 or 2% of the sleazy ones make all of us look bad.
Oh, so you think it's just 1 or 2% of politicians that are sleazy?
There are a lot of people who go into politics with the intention to, serve well and to contribute to their countries. And I think people have distinguished themselves.
And you will give them about 98%?
Well, insofar as we don't have data, I like to work with data. In order not to make sweeping statements and impugn reputations. But I think quite a number of people are in it for the good of the nation. President Mahama, President Mills, I believe President Kufuor. I disagree with a lot of the things that the current president does, but I believe he has the best of intentions.
Okay. And what did you do to the delegates? Why did they reject you?
Like I said, so from 1992, we've had chiefs who have been regional representatives of the Council of State.
No, I'm not talking about the Council. I'm talking about
region.
I'm talking about elections, by-elections. I'm talking about primaries.
Okay, so
for the party.
okay, the NDC's primary.
Yeah, the NDC's primaries.
How
did you offend them?
I don't think it was a rejection because my poll numbers are very good.
Okay.
And I do a lot of polling in my constituency.
So what happened?
Even though I'm not in Parliament, but I check the poll numbers. If you look at Kumbungu and the attitude of the NDC, we had retrogressed from giving every member of the party an opportunity to have a say in who becomes a representative of the party. As far as I'm concerned, that is progressive. That is looking forward. Now, all of us are talking about issues of corruption. If you have an electoral college that is very small, that is prone to manipulation, obviously, things would happen.
So you think money played a role in your loss?
Undoubtedly. And I still would urge the party to look forward, and looking forward would be to expand the electoral college where Aba Anamoah or, Efuseni somewhere or an Akwesi somewhere who may not have money bag, but is capable of serving his people.
Will the people vote for this person?
I mean, I wiped all my opponents in the 2015 primary on the floor.
Right.
And if you look at the numbers, majority of the constituents, that should be the basis for judging the performance of a candidate, where majority of the people decide on the fate. You come to parliament in 4 years, a group of people, and largely driven by selfish motives, make a decision on your fate into the next elections. So it is not a best or a better way of judging who can best advance the cause of the people.
Right.
And
will you run again?
I would run, and I'm hoping.
In 2024? I
would run in 2024. I'm hoping that the party would do the rightful thing by expanding the electoral college.
Okay.
I mean, there are options available. If that doesn't happen, we will look at some other options.
Right. But you are still sticking with Kumbungu?
Still sticking with Kumbungu,
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
At what point did you cut your dreadlocks?
Okay, so as you can see, I mean, I'm not sure, listeners can see, but...
Yeah, we are streaming live on Facebook.
I'm very, very bald,
You're not very bald.
Baldness
exceedingly bald.
Baldness is in the family. From my maternal side, my grandfather, the father of Donabo Muntaka, very, very bald. From, my mother's side. My father's side, we've got baldness.
Oh, you're related to him?
He's my uncle, actually.
I need to note that down because I have a question about him for you.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on. So
and did you know I got named after him?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
I was born on a Sunday. He was born on a Sunday.
Okay, so what's the name?
So, I mean, at home we call him Dan Lad. I mean, before he became a member of parliament. Obviously, everybody calls him Honorable now.
Okay.
But Dan Lad means Akwesi, or Sunday born.
Okay.
And as one of my mother's favorite little brothers, she took a decision to give me the name Mubarak, which I'm very grateful for because it's a very powerful
So what's
name.
Your first name?
So my name is Mohammed Mubarak, and my surname is Abdullahi. But at some point when I grew dreadlocks,
you became Ras.
I became Ras.
Rastafari.
Selassie.
So you lost the dreadlocks as a result of the baldness, or you cut it deliberately?
No, I mean, as a result of the baldness, I just couldn't help it. 2009, 2010, I realized...
but I've seen Rastafarians who are still going bald, but still
So I'm not a Rastafarian.
Okay.
You
just had the dreadlocks.
I grew dreadlocks.
Okay, thanks for the education.
As a symbol of defiance.
Defiance.
Yes.
To what exactly?
To established authority. I mean, we have instances where, as we are seeing currently, and I believe we would have some time to talk about that a bit later. As we're seeing currently,
the Achimota School incident.
Absolutely.
I'll bring it up shortly. I'm coming to that.
Where people with dreadlocks are being discriminated against, where people with dreadlocks do not get a leg in the door, to offer themselves, whether as whatever they want to do.
You got into the door.
So I got into the door without dreadlocks.
At GBC?
At GBC, without dreadlocks.
Without it?
Without dreadlocks.
Okay. You think that it would have been a different story?
It would have been it would have absolutely, especially at that
time. But what's a reggae presenter without Rasta?
So, I mean, I didn't get into GBC as a reggae presenter. It came along the way. I mean, I did news, I did, current affairs and all of that. Right. But along the way, I just decided, let me,
push all of that aside.
Push all of that aside. It was boring stuff.
Okay.
But as I was saying, so at GBC, I didn't have locks, but I felt, look, let me knot up to show solidarity with Rastas I know who get discriminated against in society, whose music, I mean, in the late 90s, I mean, to even get airplay on radio was even so much of a problem. For a Ghanaian reggae artist, even though the likes of Kojentry had blazed the trail and had, distinguished themselves very, very well, but a lot of artists were still struggling, to have their CDs.
So your thoughts on this impasse between Achimota School, the family, GS, Nagrat? You've been listening to the Nagrat president, have you?
Disgraceful, and I think that someone in his position shouldn't be making such disgraceful comments. If you look at the Constitution in Article 21C, the Constitution is very clear on some rights. If I may read 21C, that all persons shall have the freedom to practice any religion and to manifest such practice. So if you are SDA, Nana, and you decide not to wear your earring, you are manifesting your religion. If you are Rastafari and you grow your dreadlocks, you are manifesting your religion. If you are a Muslim lady and you wear your hijab, you are manifesting your religion. So the Constitution gives that right. You can look at 26. That says every person is entitled to enjoy, practice, profess, maintain, and promote any culture, language, tradition, or religion subject to the provisions of this Constitution. And fundamentally, go to the section of the Constitution on children's rights, which is the whole of Article 28, specifically Article 28.4, which reads, no child shall be deprived by any other person of medical treatment, education, or any other social or economic benefit by reason only of religious or other beliefs. So you can't deny those two kids access to education by reason of their religion. And don't forget, 21C in the Constitution gives them that right. You know, and again, Achimota School can be sued for all manner of things. They've degraded, they've dehumanized those two kids. If you look at 28.3, that a child shall not be subjected to torture or other cruel or inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment. What they have done is disgraceful, is dehumanizing.
They said they have their rules.
Those rules are not sacrosanct. Those rules are subject to the tenets of the Constitution. You know, those rules are subservient, you know, to what is in the Constitution, and they can't live over and above what is in the Constitution. So what they have done is unconstitutional. They must be told so boldly in the face.
What do you say?
What they have done smacks of colonial mentality, you know, because you see a situation where expatriate kids, where Caucasian children are given an opportunity. And think about the hypocrisy, Nana. You've got Ghanaian female kids, and I've seen those pictures, who have been asked or, you know, compelled to have their hair trimmed or shaved. And you've got Caucasian-looking kids who've got their long hair.
Sometimes even mixed race.
I'm beside myself with rage that in Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana in the 21st century, you know, we would see these, you know, relics of colonization. And what we're facing currently is cultural imperialism. And many of our people are being used.
This is what Bob Marley stood against.
This is what all of us are standing up against. This is what Malcolm X, you know, who inspired me. This is what Luther King. This is what Kwame Nkrumah. This is what President Rawlings. This is what, you know, all social democrats, you know, all left of center politicians.
You're a left, aren't you?
I'm a leftist, proud one.
A proud one. Okay.
A hard left, actually.
A hard left.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
far one, far right.
Far
left. I mean,
yes.
you're a far left. Okay, so just a couple of things. There are some who have said that any attempt to bend the rules for Rastafarians will open the floodgates for others with other religious profiles to seek their rights at the school. So imagine
it's ignorance.
You open the floodgates.
You're not opening any floodgates. Okay. The Constitution gives every other person the right. In 21C,
so we can allow the son of a chief priest, for instance, to come to the school and wear a raffia skirt.
Come to think of it, these arguments are being espoused by people who even say they believe in the Bible.
Right.
Look at Numbers 6:11 to 27. Look at Leviticus 19:27. And I wish your producers could pull it up for you.
I have the Bible up.
Okay? That we profess to love Christ so much, Christ in his kingly character, that we profess to love the Bible so much, yet we are picking and choosing what we are reading from the Bible.
Starr.
And I think people should respect the Constitution. We've accepted constitutional democracy, as the path for our progress. What they have done is unconstitutional, is disgraceful. I feel embarrassed as an African that in Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, people with natural hair are discriminated against. And it's not just people with natural hair. We've seen persons with disability who get discriminated against. We see women who get discriminated against. We see women, minorities, who get discriminated against, and it is absolutely very sad. I've seen people invoke Article 14(1)(c), and I mean, it's neither here nor there. It's not in relation to this. Now, if you look at 14(1)(c), every person shall be entitled to his personal liberty, and no person shall be deprived of his personal liberty except in the following cases and in accordance with procedure permitted by law. And they invoke E, which says for the purpose of education or welfare of a person who has not attained the age of 18. I mean, what this provision means is that if a child is not 18 and the school the child attends closes at 2, the school can prohibit the child from leaving at 1 or 12. That's what it means. It has nothing to do with religious freedoms.
Nagrat says if we allow this, there will be chaos.
It's ignorance.
From Nagrat?
It's complete ignorance.
What do you make of GES's youth?
Flip-flopping.
Yeah.
Very embarrassing, isn't it? Now, what that does is that it weakens the hand of GES, because GES is more or less a regulator. Now, if you've issued a directive as a regulator, and one school decide that, or a headmistress decide that she's not going to abide by that directive, what any serious and responsible regulator does is to invoke punishment and sanctions. And I expected the Ghana Education Service to invoke some sanctions and reprimand the headmistress, for the position that she's taking. It weakens GES's position, because tomorrow if somebody violates a directive from GES would find it very difficult to be firm, to impose sanctions, and people could make reference to a precedent. So I think there wasn't leadership on the part of GES, and these kinds of bumbling, flip-flopping, it doesn't help anybody.
Okay. And I want to move away from Achimota School, the Rasta. I hope that there is a solution found very soon, because I feel bad for the poor young boys.
I'm hoping that the Minister of Education would intervene. And let me, if he doesn't, I know the president also has a lot of respect for Rastas. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that...
And he's a product of Achimota School.
He's a product of Achimota School. I'm hoping that there would be some direction, that, look, we can't entertain these kinds of things in Black Africa, in Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. This is unacceptable.
Okay. I want us to talk about your beloved party.
The great NDC. The only party that can advance the interest of all the people of Ghana.
Really?
Yes.
So why are we where we are now?
We are where we are because of a flawed electoral system.
Before
okay.
then, before 2016, it wasn't kosher in Ghana. It wasn't kosher.
No, but look at what is happening in government today. Nothing compared to what you experienced in 2016. Look at fuel prices.
What did I experience?
Hardship. Currently, people are parking their SUVs.
Before 2016, there was no hardship?
As a matter of fact, I had to park my SUV at some point and ride a bicycle to Parliament.
I saw that. I mean, was that a show-off?
It wasn't a show-off.
You were just protesting, right?
It was to accentuate...
You were not broke.
It was to accentuate, the feelings of the fed-up man in the street.
But that was beautiful. I mean, it made a nice news day.
It did, but it also drummed home,
absolutely,
the concerns of the people. And I think those concerns are still real today. People are still feeling the heat. We have seen one broken promise after the other from the president, who's had a lot of goodwill, who had promised to curb corruption and to fight corruption head on. Unfortunately, we see a lot of sleaze. Take the Auditor General's report currently before Parliament and look at it. It's very, very unfortunate. This was not what the good people of Ghana were promised. And I'm really hoping that currently they've run the economy to the ground.
Have they?
They have.
How?
They have. They've run the economy to the ground. There's no fiscal space. They've wasted monies that were meant to ameliorate, that were meant to ease the burden.
They've wasted.
On campaigning. And it is one of the reasons why Domlevo was elbowed out.
You believe they use state funds to campaign?
Absolutely.
How?
I mean, you followed the 2020 campaigns. You would hear people say, "Oh, we are bringing you COVID-19 relief funds from Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo." This is public funds, and they did it in a manner that is so subjective in a manner that targeted only supporters of the MPP. And I think that is...
But isn't that characteristic of any ruling government? There is an abuse of power, abuse of incumbency.
You've never seen such profligacy. You've never seen such wanton dissipation.
So it has existed.
You've never seen...
Except that we are seeing it in high proportions. Is that what you're saying?
Never in the history of this country have we seen such waste of public funds, such vicious acts of corruption, such impunity. Never in the history of this country. And it is very, very disappointing when you don't see the whip cracked, when, the president had come ridden on the back of championing and fighting corruption only to oversee.
So you don't give him any credit at all?
No, he's done a few things. I wouldn't.
No, I mean in terms of
in the fight of
corruption.
in the fight of corruption, he scored 0 on my ranking. In the fight of in the fight against corruption, he scored 0. Look at how Domlevo was kicked out. Very, very embarrassing. It doesn't do the president's stature, credibility as a champion of good governance any good. And I think the advisors have not done the president any good, to be honest with you, because the posturing, the language.
You saw the
letter
letter to the CS.
completely needless, and it actually fits into what is even going on in Parliament, where the secretary to the president wrote a letter he was not even authorized to write to Parliament in respect of capping the allocation of Parliament. It tells you how people may be doing things on the blind side of the president. This is not to say that some appointees are not distinguishing themselves well, but by and large, we've seen one failure after the other.
Okay, now back to your NDC, your party.
The great NDC, and hopefully, we're praying that Ghanaians will give us an opportunity in 2024.
Isn't it sad? Isn't it sad that for Ghanaians, our options really are NDC and NPP?
No, right? Why is it sad?
It is sad
no, because other parties
it's one misery to the other. From one misery to the other.
It's because people like yourselves are sitting on the fence.
Because people like me, if I want to run, I'm torn between NDC and NPP. And I'm looking at NDC, I'm looking at NPP, what a shame.
No, but I mean,
I'm thinking, what a pity.
For someone like you,
you think I could go independent, huh?
You could give it a shot, and I would actually love to see.
I think I will lose.
No.
I will lose so much.
What's your constituency?
I also West Wogon.
West Wogon, the almighty West Wogon.
And then I could do Cape Coast North as well.
You should, and hopefully on the ticket of the NDC. We would be happy to, to have, young women who can champion the causes
a lot of things have to change in both the NDC and NPP to attract a lot of young people who really, really want to run.
What would you like to see changed in the NDC?
I'm not going to tell you. You have to pay me money as a consultant.
No.
And again, I'm not here to answer questions.
We're having a lively conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now back to NDC. Now this is the presenter in you coming out. You miss GBC.
I really miss sitting at that side.
Once in a while, you should pass by.
I hope to.
Yeah, once in a while you should pass by. We'll be happy to have you around. So, your party has been on an expulsion spree.
It's not an expulsion spree. I mean, people have misconducted themselves, and I think it's long overdue. I mean, some of our executives, including from my own constituency, misconducted themselves. Okay. The party didn't crack the whip. In some other constituencies, we lost seats simply because one constituency chairman decided that he doesn't like the MP or the candidate, so he'd sabotage the campaign. We've seen this up and down the country. I have said that the NDC ought to have a radical change in the way we do things. So I welcome it wholeheartedly.
Alote Jacob says that the committee that sat and decided that he should be removed from the party, he described them as brainless because he left the party a couple of weeks ago and he communicated that only for him to receive a letter 2 weeks later that he's been expunged from the party. I mean,
I'm not going to respond to my friend, and he's a comrade.
Is he your friend?
He's a friend. Yeah, we go way back, many years. And
so the party could have forgiven him.
It's unfortunate that things have come to a head. It's unfortunate we've lost a member, but in building a party, sometimes you need to, what does the Bible say? If that your right hand offend you, you should cut it off.
Yes.
So if
I almost misquoted it, but thank you, yeah.
So if Alote Jacob is hurting us, if, Atubiga Stephen, my brother, whose comments are incendiary, hurting us, we should crack the whip.
Speaking from a position of pain?
Look,
because
I'm the last person, and you should know me by now, that I'm the last person to say we should begin to gag people. I speak my mind. Okay, but you don't do that to violate the tenets of the constitution of the party. We can be very critical, and I have been very, very critical. I think the direction of the party at this particular moment ought to be forward-looking.
Do you think Kwaku Anyidaho should be expunged as well?
I'm not here to discuss Kwaku Anyidaho.
But since you said the party must crack the whip.
So anybody who's sabotaged the party...
Has he sabotaged the party?
I don't know if he campaigned for us in the 2020 elections, but if he didn't and his comments were anti-party, why not? That is how you build a party. And we would not have lost some seats we lost. Places like Myong, sadly.
That was the first time, right?
I mean, I almost
that was
wept.
Devastating.
Especially the northern region, we are replete with examples of constituencies that we lost because the executives, the party really needs to change the way executives are elected from branch, from constituency, national, regional, national, and even the way we choose our parliamentary candidates.
Okay. You had a lot to say. Sorry. You had a lot to say about Sami Jemfi's open letter to party supporters about the leadership, the NDC caucus in Parliament. What exactly was your problem? Where was the lie in what he put out?
Okay, so his attack on the person of the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament was disgraceful. As an officer of the party at the national level, you take the pressure. If it's coming from the rank and file of the party, you take it, and especially if you're a communicator. It was unfortunate. I mean, I have no apologies in saying that leadership of the minority in Parliament has to change. It's long overdue. They've lost momentum.
What about
They've lost momentum. I have absolutely no apology about that. And we're singing from the same hymn book that, look, leadership of a party in Parliament has to change. A party that is afraid of making radical changes risk losing election after election. So we've got to have that at the back of our minds. And there are
so it was a how that you had a problem with. How
it was an attack. He berated the speaker. He berated the speaker. That is unforgivable. To have attacked the person. The speaker is one of those people in our party who's paid his dues. Who's been in the party from the doldrums. When the NDC was not even attractive to be associated with. People associated us with violence and all of that. These were the people.
So would you expect Sami Jemfi to be punished for that?
Well, I hope that he be forgiven, and I hope that we all gauge the kinds of, the way we communicate to the public, especially as leaders of the party. I mean, I find it unacceptable. I can't repeat some of those things that he said on air, and it's completely. I was really.
Have you seen the latest ERU report?
I haven't seen it. I've heard news reports.
Okay, what do you make of them?
Well, my view is that, look, there's a groundswell of support for the NDC. Ghanaians are disappointed. We have a golden opportunity to win 2020 if we bring John Mahama.
2024.
2024. I'm sorry.
Why should they bring John Mahama?
Compare his track record, 4 years of John Mahama. Compare it to what you've seen under the last 4 years. Best marketed, and from 1992.
So you think there is nobody in the?
No, I haven't said there's nobody.
Okay, but you think that John Mahama should go in 2024?
I think John Mahama should go in 2024. And I think we should have early party reorganization. We should be able to sidestep some of the bureaucracy and get things done. The early bird catches the worm.
Absolutely. Is there a fear that without John Mahama, the NDC stands to stay in a position?
No. Except that he's. I don't want to overuse the word fantastic, but if you
don't think Professor Nana Jane will make a great candidate?
If you were to ask my candid opinion, I would say JM should run. Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman was fantastic on the ticket, but I think we could do a change of running mates. If you asked me, I would say that look at results from Greater Accra. Greater Accra delivered. Both parties from 1992 have not been fair to Greater Accra. If you win Greater Accra, you win the presidency. We need to galvanize.
So you
we need to galvanize.
A gun running mate?
It would be great, I think.
A gun running mate?
It would be great.
Why should it be based on tribe?
We are a party of diversity.
Right.
Okay?
And not a party of can-do intellect?
Diversity with can-do intellect. Okay?
That's a smart one.
Yeah,
okay.
Diversity with a can-do intellect.
Okay.
You know, and there are very good candidates from the Greater Accra region. I'm rooting for a candidate from Greater Accra.
Think that
a running mate from Greater Accra.
You think that, I wouldn't call it abysmal, but you think your poor showing in the central region was down to her being a running mate?
No, I haven't said it was down to her per se. Okay. But what I mean is that, you see, elections are about winning. And all win be win.
Yeah, I mean, for someone who's been talking a lot, you've paid glowing tributes to women.
Absolutely.
So
and you know, her choice for 2016. You see, it's 2020. I don't know why I'm still stuck in. My mind is still.
It's a loss you haven't been able to get over. It was a gargantuan loss for the NDC.
You know, but sincerely, I mean, it's a decision for the flag bearer of the NDC. We haven't gotten there yet.
But you feel.
But I would root for somebody who is from Greater Accra. You know.
Why not from Kumbungu?
No, obviously you can have a northern.
Okay, so
ticket.
that would work.
It gives it a balance.
Okay.
But even it's not just akin to Ghana, but even in the most advanced democracy, you would see one candidate from the south, one from the north or center. You know, it gives it a lot of impetus. So I on any day I salute women. I support women empowerment. But 2024, if I were President Mahama.
So if they go for a woman
and don't forget,
you wouldn't mind a woman who's gone.
Absolutely, and don't forget, he himself has been a beneficiary of a changed candidate. I mean, Prof had Martin Amidu in 2000, changed him, changed the candidate in the person of Mohamed Mumuni in 2004, and changed in 2008, right? So President Mahama had been a beneficiary of that system. Okay, he
wasn't changed in 2012, was he? Or because
no, I mean he was
vice then.
So. He was vice then,
Right,
so it wouldn't have made sense to change him.
All right, so let me just paraphrase that.
And I have a candidate in mind, though. In the future, we'll talk about it in the future. No,
is that a woman?
No, when JM gets the nod as our candidate for president,
and that's what you're praying for,
and that is what I'm praying for, and that's what I'm going to work for. I'll give you a name that I have in mind.
Yeah. I will call you. But is it a woman?
I'll tell you.
You seem to say a lot of nice things about women.
I've been a fantastic advocate
of women. At what point did you start abusing women?
I don't abuse women, and that's an unfortunate charge on me, Nana.
No, it's a question because I'm building up.
Well,
okay, so
for someone who's championed, and not just in Parliament, but even before I became a member of Parliament, as Chief Executive Officer of the NYE, supported a lot of women. Employed more women at NYE than men.
So why are you being accused?
Well, I mean,
being an abuser.
Who's accusing me of being an abuser?
Your ex-wife.
My ex-wife?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. You know this. You wrote a whole epistle. I mean, I've read it so many times, I still have to go back and start. She accuses you of being an abuser.
She's entitled to her opinion. I've expressed my side of the story.
Did you ever abuse her?
No.
So why does she say you abused her? Because she hasn't said it once or twice.
She's entitled to her opinion. She hasn't said it once or twice, and I haven't responded until recently because of
I noticed.
The enormous respect I have for women.
Did it hurt you?
It hurts me greatly. It hurt me when my opponents, in the most disparaging way, used this against me in my own constituency. It hurt me badly. It hurts me because there are two kids, wonderful kids between us, and these things shouldn't be out there where if you've walked away, and as you have walked away in a previous relationship, you walk away.
So many.
You walk and don't look back.
Oh no,
right?
Sometimes I look back.
Well, I don't walk and look back, So
I've looked back a couple of times, but yeah.
So those things I think it was a calculated attempt to damage me politically.
Why would your wife do that?
Not my wife, my
your
ex-wife.
ex-wife. Why would somebody you have 2 kids with deliberately do that to you?
People have their reasons.
What did you do to her?
I stated everything not quite everything, but
but that was
some of
that was a lot of things.
No, I've actually held back.
You held back in that?
I've held back. Yeah.
I mean, so there was a point where you talked about Brazilian hair. I'm sitting in front of you wearing my Brazilian hair.
Trust me, I have nothing against your person. If you are my friend, I will try to convince you
to stop wearing Brazilian hair.
Stop wearing it. And if you don't, I can force you.
I'll stop talking to you.
Well, I mean...
that was a joke. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
Because as friends, we should be able to look each other in the face. You see, I'm a Pan-Africanist.
When you met her...
She had this wicked cornrow, huh?
That wasn't her hair?
No. I mean, when I say... How do you call it?
Yeah, the cornrow, the braids.
Yeah, braids.
Yeah,
natural.
Oh, it was natural.
Natural.
She had natural hair.
She had that wicked cornrow. And for me, that was exciting, Right. And women who know me will tell you that, look, I salute women who are proud of their African identity. I have nothing against you, Nana. You've distinguished yourself well. Self-acclaimed.
I'm not judging you.
Self-acclaimed, But as Africans, we need to take a step backward and look at what we're doing to ourselves. And look at how we are feeding into the cultural imperialism.
I feel I'm happy.
No, you are entitled to it.
Right.
I mean, nobody can foist if you wanted to even bleach.
Was that part necessary in your episode about the Brazilian hair?
It must have been in a context.
Where's my phone? Oh, I'm using. I'm
not gonna go into the details. As I said,
just a bit.
No.
So you had to tell us her English name, Portia. I mean, I was christened Rosemond.
Yeah.
Rosemond.
Yeah, she was christened Rashida.
Rashida.
Yeah.
So where for the Portia?
I mean, I'm not here to speak for her.
But you posted it. You said
in a context. It must have been in a context in responding to a particular issue. But like I said,
and you talked about she not attending her father's funeral
I'm not going to go into all of that. I'm not going to regurgitate that.
No, I'm not asking you to.
It's already in the public domain.
And it raised a lot of questions. For instance, if you say, I read it, and at some point I stopped and I'm gawking. Who did he say that? He said the sex was okay. And the cooking was fantastic. The cooking was fantastic.
She's a phenomenal cook.
Okay. But the sex wasn't fantastic.
No comment.
Forgive me.
No comment.
But are you provoked when you hear stories of spousal abuse?
I'm outraged, not just provoked. I mean, I've written extensively about some of these things, either in epilogues in my time at GBC. Nana, check Parliamentary Hansard.
I have. Because you mentioned it in your episode, and I did. I got a friend to get me.
I've stood up for women, and it's not appropriate for spouses to physically abuse each other.
So when you are accused of something you've stood against, the first time you heard it, what ran through your head?
Oh, I mean, I've got a thick skin. As a politician, you get insulted a lot to the extent that
sometimes they even bring up your mother.
You develop a dead goat syndrome.
I like that.
To the extent that these things don't hurt you, but when it's coming from a loved one, someone you've shared.
Do you still love her?
No, I've got 2 beautiful wives.
Okay, I'll come to that.
Okay,
but there were text messages, WhatsApp messages that was being.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
I hear there was some.
But were you told what the content of these?
Trust me, I couldn't have been bothered because probably some damage.
So for you, you put your truth out there, and that's
some of my truth.
Some of your truth.
Some of it may find its way in my memoir someday in the future, but
But did she really ask you to sack your secretary?
Yes.
Why?
She wanted me to hire her as my secretary.
And you found that ridiculous?
I found that outrageous.
Maybe she felt she could do the job better. Oh.
She's my wife.
People work with their wives. What's wrong with that?
This is public office.
Okay.
I swore an oath to protect and defend and to provide opportunity. I couldn't wrap my
did she at any
leftist good governor's head around it.
Yeah, the lefts. Did she at any point harbor any suspicion?
I mean, it came up, which is
a suspicion.
Which is
with you and your secretary.
And trust me, the lady in question is a very decent woman, and I find it unfortunate when women unnecessarily accuse their husbands of cheating with people they are not cheating with.
And that was the accusation.
There's never been a relation. I mean, Mary Efienkoko. For want of a better word in English, Mary Efienkoko.
Yeah, I get it. So you found it utter ridiculous that she wanted you to fire her and hire
someone who's gone through the process, public service. I mean, recruitment process. Very qualified, a degree holder from the University of Ghana. I mean, that is...
Does she still work with you?
Well, I mean, she still works at NYA.
Okay. Yeah, that was when you left, yeah.
Even though I brought her in, but she still works at NYA.
Okay. Yeah. So you never asked for a comeback?
Okay, so when people divorce... No, I mean, when people have issues...
Are you divorced? Has the process gone through?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
When people are having issues, they'll try to sort it out. So they'll bring in elders, they'll bring in friends, and there were senior people who got involved. I mean, the likes of the Speaker himself, the Speaker of Parliament himself tried to intervene. Very respectable persons. Because I had gone for a campaign, you return after several months, and your family's gone. You can even imagine how traumatizing that experience is.
But you abandoned her during the campaigning.
It's a conversation. It's a conversation I've always had with my partners.
Right.
Because I'm a politician, I try to sort of get us to time things. You don't want to be having a baby during elections.
Yeah.
But of course, when a baby comes in the way, you can't say because it's an election, so the baby should be aborted. But it wasn't something that
you felt that your spouse would have understood the situation.
I had put in so much time, energy, effort, resources. And it wasn't like I was away all the time, You make time, you campaign a bit, you return a bit, show your love, But, I mean, it's all in the past. Let's talk about my 2 wives.
I will come to them very soon. So, at no point did you ask?
No, like I said, I mean...
for a comeback.
No, like I said...
to rekindle.
Like I said, look, when people divorce, or when people separate, when they have issues...
Ras,
I'm
just asking a simple
And I'm answering your question. Okay. I've answered it, and I'm going to reiterate it.
Okay.
For instance, the Speaker of Parliament, then Deputy Speaker of Parliament, got involved.
Okay.
In bringing us together.
All right.
Senior people from my party who thought...
So as far as you're concerned, you just wanted things to work out?
Efforts were made.
Okay.
It wasn't like, okay, I'm so irresponsible, the mother of my 2 kids has left, and so you wouldn't make any efforts. Look, no child should live separately from their parents.
Okay. Because the WhatsApp messages being circulated,
I haven't seen them.
It suggested that
I haven't seen them, so I can't. I haven't
but
seen them.
But do you remember sending any message that suggested that.
I haven't seen those messages, so I can't respond to.
do
But
you
interestingly, you know, when a picture is painted like, oh, we are at each other's throat, we actually talk.
You talk? Okay.
Yes, we do.
So do you bring these things up? Why constantly your marriage is
No,
is out there?
I've tried to, you know, engage and let her know that, look, these things are not helpful.
But have you paused for a minute to put yourselves in her shoe? That she was pregnant. She had a baby.
It's a troubling experience for
you
any
went away.
woman.
Yes.
I understand.
So you understand
So it
her.
could even be, you know, what do they call it? Postpartum. It could even be postpartum.
Yeah, we don't know that.
You know,
but,
I said it could even be.
could,
So
okay.
I understood her perfectly.
Okay.
And that is why I went out of my way, because under those circumstances where, you know, your partner packs completely out of your house, you know, a lot of men would walk away. But I look at my daughters and I think, look, I mean, this is going to...
How old are they?
So 8 and 4.
How many children do you have?
I've got 4.
4. Are you going to have more?
We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see.
I thought you say no, I'm done. How many boys, how many girls?
1 boy, 3 girls.
Oh, lucky. You're lucky. And you have 2 wives now.
I have 2 wives, yes. 1 Ghanaian,
One
1
Algerian.
Algerian.
Yeah.
2 beautiful wives.
Okay. Full
In whom I'm well pleased.
Algerian?
Yeah.
Why Algerian?
In bringing Africa together.
Kwame Nkrumah 2.0. I'm coming back to your wives in a bit, but just so I remind you that the show is in association with Dove. Dove cares, and every smile matters. If you're out there suffering from hydrosis, where your armpit sweats a lot, what you need is Dove. And believe me when I tell you that it works. Dove believes deodorant shouldn't just protect, they should care for your underarms too. And I recommend the Invisible Dry Dove. After all, a lot of the best things in life lead us throwing our arms in the air, which is why Dove deodorant is created with quarter moisturizing cream to, guess what? Care for your underarm skin, leaving it soft and smooth. So go ahead, lift your arms in confidence, lift them up like you just don't care. Because you know, Dove deodorant cares for your underarm like never before. Dove cares. Also, Pepsodent is up to amazing things. They have a campaign running, and I believe you should stick with this campaign for the rest of your life. It's a Brush With Me campaign. And we all know that setting up a routine of brushing properly with a fluoride toothpaste day and night works wonders in boosting your oral health. For this great routine to stick, guess what? Brushing every day with your family does the trick. That is why your favorite and my favorite oral care brand, Pepsodent, has launched the Brush With Me campaign to remind parents of their joyful responsibility in taking care of the oral health of their families by brushing together. Because brushing together day and night is the way to go. So invite your family to brush with you. Now let's talk about your 2 beautiful wives.
What do you want
So
to know?
the Algerian and a Ghanaian. Do you live together?
Yes.
The 3 of you live together?
Oh, of course, no. I mean,
Okay.
my Ghanaian wife is here.
Who's the first one?
The one from Ghana?
Okay, and Algeria is number 2.
Yes.
Did the first one agree?
Yes.
Because I understand in Islam, the first wife must agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did
yes.
she have a say at all?
Well, she did. We had a conversation. I'm an unapologetic polygamist. You're gonna have to forgive me for that.
I was coming to that. I was coming to that. So are you going to add on?
Well, currently I'm very satisfied
With the 2
and
of
well
them.
pleased with the 2 of them.
So I've always wanted to ask a Muslim man this question. So do you have a roster?
I mean, my other wife lives in Algeria, but
Okay,
obviously
she's not here.
she was in town recently, and you know, she's gone
So
back.
while she was here, did you have to
No.
draw up a schedule? Monday for Ghana, Tuesday for
no,
Algeria?
no comments. But I believe in my grandparents' time.
How many wives did your father have?
Okay, so my father has 2.
Okay.
As for the grandfathers,
More than 2, right? Okay, so they live happily together.
and they have wonderful,
What do
children.
they make of these stories of abuse against you?
They don't like it, like they get worried, they get really, really worried. But hey,
They know
it's
you
in the
better.
past. I mean, I respect my ex-wife, as the mother of my kids. and I never really wish that these things are out there, where I get attacked, where my integrity. Look, this is a name I built for many years, and when it's subjected to a barrage of attacks like that, and you've had an opportunity to go to court and do your thing, and you never reported to police, no family. I mean, but like I said, it's in the past. I don't begrudge her. People say things out of anger. I'm a very forgiving person,
So have you forgiven her?
I don't hold anything against her.
Okay.
My kids live with her.
Right.
I can't be mad at her when.
So you see her often?
I see the kids every now and then, but recently I was told I would have to go to court to see them. I mean, yeah.
How did that make you feel?
Look, kids should not be used as pawns in a fight between parents. It's very sad.
Yeah.
And that is why I don't believe in
So
if divorce has to happen, it has to be as a result of irreconcilable differences.
Okay.
Otherwise the kids' interests have to come first. And at all times, any day I would put the best interest of my children first.
Absolutely. Tell me about your Ghanaian wife.
She likes a quiet life, but she's so adorable.
How long have you been married?
We've been married since 2018.
Okay.
February 2018.
Yeah. I saw her picture.
You
She's
did?
beautiful.
Thank you very much.
She's so beautiful.
Thank you very much.
And so is the Algeria one. Let me not create problems at home for you.
And she's listening from Algiers. She's watching from Algiers.
Yeah.
Before I
saw your wedding pictures with the Algerian as well. My goodness, she's drop dead. Gorgeous.
Well,
They're both gorgeous. You've got beautiful eyes.
If you're a Muntaka, you've got eyes for the finest things.
Right.
Is
she related to Muntaka?
That's his daughter.
So you are married to your cousin?
Yes.
Because you mentioned that Muntaka is your uncle.
Yes.
How are you married to your cousin? Isn't that incest?
My goodness.
It's just a harmless question, no?
That's no incest.
But what is it?
Incest is when you're marrying your direct sibling.
So you're okay married to your cousin?
Absolutely.
Why?
No, but there are a lot of such intermarriages, in Ghanaian society.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can imagine married to my cousin.
Think about that cousin that you missed out on marrying him.
No, that's none. So you're married to your cousin?
What's the big deal?
Wow. I mean, I find it a big deal.
Oh, no, it's not a big deal. Especially for Dagombes.
Ah, okay. You are a Dagomba. Oh, I know one Dagomba word. Nam. From my friend Empress Jamila. So you saw her growing up, this cousin of yours?
I saw her growing up, and then I didn't see her again until 2017.
And then
I'm like, whoa. Okay.
Your
okay.
cousin.
So okay.
You saw your cousin and you went to whoa.
No, I didn't go whoa. Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase.
Okay.
So I had a conversation with a relative.
Is it Honorable Muntaka?
I'm not gonna. I had a conversation with a relative about looking to settle down. Having, because politics, you need some level of stability. And he said, well, why? I mean, look no further. All your uncles and aunties have, wonderful kids, well-educated kids. You can look within as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be from without.
Right.
And I went to Tamale one day, and the rest is history.
You saw this flower.
And I saw this beautiful flower, and not just a flower, but a virgin.
Oh, she was a virgin.
Yes, she was a virgin.
So that was the attraction for you.
I mean, amongst other things, the cooking. Interestingly, you're
fixated with cooking. And the sex.
You see, they say a woman's what's the problem?
The secret to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Voila.
Is that still true?
I don't know, but but I like a good diet, a healthy diet.
Yeah. Well, you look very healthy.
Yeah. They try to keep me healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. On that note, let me take a commercial break. I'll come back. We have a few minutes to go. I'll come back and talk to Ras Mubarak about his love for other things apart from virgins and beautiful women and food. And of course, the love for Ghana. We'll be right back.
Extraordinary radio for discerning listeners. Starr 103.5 FM.
Fade, ade, fa, don't go for me, go. Fade, ade, fa.
Hey, Charlie, I don't go bitters, no. Me too chamao.
Somebody can now say, bitters, the value is the same. And I'm saying, no, I don't go bitters, and the move free.
Ojam, forgive me.
After the one who said, Sapunchania told you, my go who sends you go. Bueno, one more, Pampa be in your one. Now you for no.
I for know, I for check. Taste to know, and now Masia yo. Now Trabia, Utimi Hunu say, I don't go na Kenya no who and move to the next level.
I don't go bitters, at the search for grow. One now you want to at the same time.
Ah, Nansa Angel Heba for na dear. Say ye to Chabi, na mema, near see who ya dear.
Remember when in fear doing what drink count and what drinking sport to be a man from Fred 0561 200 333 0504 499 977.
I don't go bitters.
Fade, ade, fa, don't go for me, go. Fade, ade, fa.
What would you do with 50 gigabytes free data? Would you binge watch TV all day? Would you download FIFA 21? How about downloading your entire coursework? Or you do all at the same time? See, Surfline has a way of giving you value like no one does. 50 gigabytes free data when you get yourself a Surfline device. Now that's a sledgehammer. Don't miss out on anything. Get yourself a Surfline device today from any Surfline shop and get 50 gigabytes free data to do all you ever wanted on Ghana's only true 4G LTE network.
Surfline, it's about time. It all started in a bar one night. Someone tasted something new. And soon the news spread like wildfire. From place to place, from year to year, and today, more than 20 years later, everyone believes in the one true bitters. Now it's your turn to discover why. Alomo Bitters, celebrating 20 years of countless authentic moments. Another quality product from Casapreco Company Limited. Drink responsibly, not for sale to persons under 18 years, not recommended for pregnant women, lactating mothers. This advertisement is vetted and approved by the FDA.
103.5 Starr FM.
It's mature, it's relevant, and guarantees you the best music. Starr 103.5 FM. Simply the best.
Welcome back, and my guest tonight is Ras Mubarak, the former member of parliament for Kumbungu constituency, and we've had a wonderful chat so far. I've seen all your messages. I wish I could read them all out to him, but you do have a lot of fans out there, I must tell you. So Jesse Ejapon, Jesse is a top marketer, and Jesse says that tell him I would love to meet him. I love his composure and seeming patience. Nana Asafwache says, Ross, the truth is no one would have voted for you if you were in dreadlocks.
That's a good one.
Okay, okay. Now, J. Kofi Isaac, that's a very interesting. First time listening to the Naba interview her guest, I must say she's worth the hype. Oh, I see. Worth the hype. Patrick says, why didn't you keep your dreadlocks on as an MP? I think he's already answered that question.
I got bald.
He's a bald man. All right. Caucasian hair is natural hair, but dreadlocks are not natural hair. Who says? If they wanted natural, it should be twisted as Caucasian hair. Okay, so this is exactly what Bob Marley sang about. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Come on, give me that song. Let me sing it. I'm lying. It's okay. I can't sing it. All right. I don't see why the media and our leaders find this issue difficult to deal with. The school has its rules and regulation that stands paramount and to abide by any student who wants to attend the school, blah, 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 goes on. Reggie Rackstone, a product of Achimota School, says he cut ties.
Absolutely. You know, and if it had been elsewhere, there would have been boycotts.
Yes.
People would have taken their kids out of Achimota School.
Right.
as a way of expressing their exasperation or, their concerns about what is happening in Achimota.
Okay. All right. So, apart from your love for children, obviously you love children.
I love kids.
I can tell.
I
You
love
have
kids,
4.
yeah.
I'm sure you're going to have 2 more.
I'm trying not to have more, but I'm trying not
but
to have
the attraction is there.
I'm trying not to have more, but
do the women want more?
It's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah. Do you have a child with the Algerian?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, so
Yeah.
the more will
I'm
come.
trying not to have. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying not to have more, but
Okay. All right. So apart from your love for children, apart from your love for eye candies, women who are pleasantly beautiful, easy on the eye, apart from your love for food, healthy food, and your love for virgins. You do love virgins. Right. So tell me about your
adult virgins anyway.
Yes. Let's clarify that.
Adult virgins.
Virgins, yeah, just to make it clear. Where did you school?
Okay, so I was born in Tamale. I started schooling at Kamina Barracks.
Okay.
And then we relocated to...
Barracks?
Yes. At one point I wanted to join the army.
What happened?
I was told I was too short for the army.
Sorry. Didn't you feel it was discrimination against
It was discrimination. If it had been to date,
you would have taken them all the way to the
I would
cleaners.
have taken them to the cleaners,
Yeah.
But I hope that in this day and era, that sort of discriminations are a thing of the past.
Hey,
We
short
should be-
people need love too. Short people's lives matter.
Short people's life must matter indeed.
Anyway.
So Ghana National Academy in Kumasi,
Right.
the IBM&J
Okay.
in Kumasi.
That's where you write journalism.
Yes, and then the London School of Journalism
Right.
and the University of Oslo in
Yeah.
Norway, where I did international development studies, postgraduate, and currently studying at the...
Did you enjoy Oslo?
It's a lovely place.
Yeah.
I go very often. I have some old ties.
You have a Norwegian wife?
Old ties.
Do you plan on taking on a
No
Norwegian
comments.
since you
Before I get locked out of the house tonight.
I understand you.
No comments.
So you went to Ghana National Academy. That's senior
Secondary
high
school,
school,
yes,
secondary
yes.
school. Yeah, we call it senior high
Yeah,
now. Do you remember your school anthem?
Whoa, I wouldn't remember. That's a long time ago.
How? I mean, I remember I went to National. The voice of Ghana call we sing.
When did you complete?
I won't tell you.
Ah.
But I remember the first line.
Okay.
But you don't remember
I don't
yours?
remember. I mean, it's a long time ago. It's mid-90s. I finished secondary school in 94, 95.
Okay. And you don't remember
Oh,
your
that's
anthem?
about what? How many years now?
I bet you remember the beautiful girls from your classroom. How many siblings do you have?
I've got a lot of siblings,
A lot.
A lot.
You can't count.
No, I mean because my dad is a polygamist, I'm gonna have to start counting
All of them.
all of them.
So you took after your dad.
I didn't.
You are indeed the son of your father.
No, I'm an African. And
What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
On
polygamy?
LGBTQ?
Oh hell no! Oh hell no!
That's discrimination.
That's
You're
no
against
discrimination. That's no
discrimination.
discrimination. I tell you what, we all know our laws frown upon it. I don't support anybody attacking them or
Absolutely.
or unleashing violence against them. I don't endorse it. But they can't do their thing here. It's as simple as that. The same way in Europe and America, they tell you
you can't marry
more than one. And nobody's talking about human rights violations in Europe and America.
So do you think women should marry two as well?
No. That's not
but what's good for the goose is good for the
No,
gander.
no.
If a man can marry two,
No.
a woman
That
should be
is-
able
that
to
is-
have multiple
That
husbands or
is,
multiple
if you were
boyfriends.
married to two persons and you got pregnant,
That's why there's
it
science.
may be exceedingly. Oh,
I mean, that's science. You determine who the father is.
no, but
That's
I mean,
DNA.
in our African context, you see, we are who we are, and we've got to be very proud of that. There are a lot of things that we have copied from the West, which is not good for us. And I think this push to have homosexuality here is nothing but
But it's always been here.
An attempt at cultural imperialism.
Okay.
We have overcome slavery, We have gotten rid of colonization.
Did it just start? Did homosexuality just
Well,
start? I mean, the conversation has, grown now. It's louder now.
This is 2021, so you can expect that it will be louder, but that should not, be a reason for us to legalize it any day. Any politician who endorses it, the person loses an election. There's no doubt about that. And I'm waiting to see any politician who would be foolish enough to go.
Foolish?
Yes, that would be what. I mean, it would be political suicide. We're a very conservative country, and we're proud of that. If you go to.
But you're a left.
You go to, but
and
I'm
the
saying.
lefts are liberals.
The leftists are liberals.
Yeah.
But you have to look at my leftist tendencies within the context of Africa.
Right.
If you go to some red states in the US, they are red states, and they love their conservatism no matter what everybody says.
Yeah.
That's the way it is here. We are Africans. Ours is polygamy. If people decide to do one man, one wife, entirely their cup of tea. But this strange alien, culture shouldn't be entertained. It should not be tolerated.
Okay, you heard that they've managed to raise about $37,000 to get a new office.
They can do it underground, but if they open an office, the state has to close it down. We have a duty to do it. Have you wondered why, in spite of the liberalism in Europe, polygamy is still a crime and nobody's talking about that? And you've got diplomats who've got the audacity to disrespect our hospitality, to attend functions with a bunch of people whose activities are against the laws, and we haven't sent them packing?
It won't happen in Saudi Arabia, right?
Exactly. It won't happen in Saudi Arabia.
Or any other.
Because these Westerners, these diplomats, these Europeans and Australians, they respect their culture.
Because
a
country like Saudi Arabia crushes dissent, for instance. And so in Ghana, we pride ourselves.
But why is Australia not giving people the right to practice polygamy? Why must people in Britain and France and Italy and Germany and Norway and...
recently there was an article from Germany that says that if you are coming to live here,
exactly, that's
you cannot bring your religion and culture.
Yes.
So you can't take on a second wife.
Can you even imagine?
For the immigrants.
And there's a justice minister from Germany.
So you think
and then you have diplomats who come here and they spew this madness, and we don't expel them. For me, the time has come for us to assert our authority as a truly and fully independent country.
Aren't you?
And I was disappointed that they were not recalled, or they were not.
You think they should have been summoned? I mean, that would have been the ideal thing to do. That's what we see countries do.
One, you summon them,
and they explain,
and then you send them packing. Imagine if a Ghanaian diplomat in Washington or Brussels or London had gone into a meeting with a group of people who want polygamy to be legalized in the UK. Imagine what would have happened.
Right.
And that is why in the past we've had people like...
So you're saying that until polygamy is accepted
I'm not even giving a caveat.
There's no caveat.
There's no caveat.
As far as you're concerned, homosexuality, transgender,
Europeans
queer. How about the queers? They're queer people.
What is that?
People are queer.
To the extent that we can't even use the word queer anymore. They've taken the word away from us.
Yes.
I mean, look at independence. You remember that song? The song by Lord Kitchener.
Which one is that?
Ghana, the land of
freedom.
Yeah. Lord Kitchener. There's a line that says, "Want to be merry and gay." Now you can't even.
You can't
gay.
say you're gay. You dare not say I'm gay. That means you are happy.
Absolutely.
I'm
but
happy.
now we can't.
They've
taken all of those terms away from us.
Ras, you're so interesting. But don't you think that you've just been hammering about polygamy? It benefits men, doesn't it? Polygamy.
So now is a conversation about what benefits men and.
The
women are not complaining.
They're not complaining there are wives who are not happy that their husbands have taken on second wives. There are wives who are unhappy their husbands have side chicks.
So, very good. Now that's a good point. And that is a point that I've always tried to discuss.
You have a side chick?
I don't have a side chick.
Okay.
But you have instances...
You would rather marry?
I would rather marry. You have instances where guys are married and they are brandishing their wedding ring every now and then when they are traveling to a conference or, a workshop, a side chick, I'm like, who are you deceiving?
Okay.
Anyone who knows me know that I would attend meetings.
I'm going to ask you a very controversial question.
Go ahead.
Please, you should decide. You can decide not to answer it. What did you make of Papano?
What is Papano?
I don't know. Before the elections, everyone was talking about Papano. Did you hear about it?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't know what it was all about.
Yeah?
I'm a bit old school sometimes.
You have selective amnesia. That's what you
No,
have.
I didn't know what it was about. I
didn't
kept
know what
hearing
Papano-
Papano. Even my friend Opon Kuma used it on the floor of Parliament. I was
You
wondering
were at your wit's
was,
end.
What was that about?
I have no idea. And I'm hoping politicians can tell us.
No, I don't.
Because the two parties, some parties were happy saying Papano. Others just didn't want to hear Papano.
I don't know what it was about.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But do you think you're a Papano? Are you any girl's Papano?
Certainly, I'm not an Awinga.
So for you, Papano is a winger.
Well, if that is what it means.
That's a good one. I have to end the conversation. But before we go, we have what we call the mystery question. So
Mystery question?
Yeah, right after this, you...
And now, the mystery question.
I'm sorry that I used my left hand.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So you read it out to us and then you answer it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is not a mystery question. You actually wanted me to unveil the identities of my two wives.
Ah, you've already done that.
No, I mean not
But
their,
there's more.
not their names. So I'm not going to give you their names.
Okay.
They like the anonymity,
The privacy.
The privacy, yes. But
What's the question?
Oh,
read the
come
question.
on.
Come on, read the
Come
question. No,
on.
read the question.
Come on.
Can you read the question out? Or should I read it for you?
Okay.
Yeah, read that.
Mystery question. What are the names of your two wives and which of them is most romantic? I mean, how can you ask this in public?
I mean, Ghana versus Algeria. I mean, if we play on the pitch, football, I am very confident
Ghana
that we'll
any
beat
day.
Algeria.
Ghana any day.
We'll beat them. Now,
I'm a patriot.
you're a patriot. So when it comes to women, who is more romantic, Ghana or Algeria? I mean, you've had the best of both worlds.
Have I? Well, I mean, you could make that argument, but you see, women have their unique qualities.
Yeah.
You know, there are things about.
I
there are
see
things
you are
about.
avoiding. You
No,
are
no,
avoiding
there are
some
things-
conversations
every person-
after this show, but that's
Every
fine.
person is special in their own unique
So they're
way.
both romantic.
They're both special, and they're both romantic, and they're both good cooks, and they're both everything that you're trying to conjure up in your mind.
What's your favorite food?
There's a soup we call bra
Is it
from the north, so
okay.
I like that with tozafe. But I'm a rice person.
Okay.
You know, I'm an Adriani Gari person any day.
Gobe.
You
Gobe.
know, I'm an plantain person, coffee brookman any day. You know,
So you-
as long as it's Ghanaian,
You're-
I don't like fried rice and all those things that make people
So
sick.
the Algerian learned to cook Ghanaian food?
No, in Algeria they have very, very
Tasty meals.
tasty meals.
Yeah, they
you
love
know,
spicy
and,
food. Yeah.
I enjoy it as well when I'm in Algeria.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. I'll be happy to take you there one of these days.
Yeah, I should tag along. I'd love to meet Mrs. Mubarak. Thank you so much for.
My pleasure. It's been
Did you enjoy the conversation?
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
been very, very exciting.
Thanks for not walking out. Or
Why would I?
threatening to walk out on me.
Why would I walk out on you?
Well,
Women should be doing more of the interviewing.
yeah,
It's-
I
it's-
agree.
It's very exciting.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you
Ras
very
Mubarak.
much.
Thank you. All right, so thank you so much for tuning into Star 103.5 FM. Star Chart is in association with Dove. Dove Cares, Pepsodent, every smile matters. Before we go, just to remind you that if you have a problem with sweaty underarms, then Dove is for you. That is what you've been looking for all your life. Apart from protecting your underarm from sweating, it also has a quarter moisturizing cream that makes sure that your underarm skin is soft and smooth all the time. So reach out for Dove because Dove cares, and lift your arms in confidence, have fun, and behave like you just don't care because Dove cares. And so just as I'm talking about Dove, this is from Dove to you as a thank you.
Thank you.
I need a picture, please.
Okay. Should we stand up?
Oh, okay, I can stand.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. I think you should pass it on to Fifi. He's waiting for you. All right, so this is from Dove. This is from Dove to you. I had to come back to the microphone. This is from Dove to you. It has a cream. Since you don't use moisturizers often, but Dove doesn't bleach. It's perfect for your skin. then we have the deodorants in there as well. There's Invisible Dry, which is my favorite. And then, should I open it for you, if you don't mind? Okay. So, this is what we have here. There is the Dove Mousse de Douche Nutrition Intense. You love it. This is the Invisible Dry, my favorite. Yeah, that's it. And then
I've seen this one.
You have.
Around the house a lot.
Yeah. So the family loves Dove. Yeah. And then this is from Dove as well. You should try it.
Thank you very much
so
indeed.
much.
And thanks to the people who did the listening. We thank them very much indeed.
There you go.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. And before I finally wrap up, just to remind you that setting up a routine of brushing properly with a fluoride toothpaste day and night works wonders in boosting your oral health. For this great routine to stick, brushing every day with your family does the trick. That is why your favorite oral care brand, Pepsodent, has launched the Brush With Me campaign to remind parents of their joyful responsibility in taking care of the oral health of their families by brushing together, and that way it's better. Take action today because good oral hygiene starts with you. Visit the dentist regularly, at least twice a year, brush properly day and night, and invite your family to brush with you. That's right. Brushing your teeth is better together, and twice a day is the way to go. So invite your family to brush with you. You use Pepsodent, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's
fantastic. When are you going to sit here whilst I sit there and interview you?
When do you want to interview me?
Set it up.
Except we have to discuss the questions.
You're not getting any questions in advance.
Please, I'll be happy. Maybe on my birthday.
What, on the 19th, right?
Yes, 19th of
June.
How come you know my birthday?
We're Gemini.
Yeah, that's true. I mentioned it earlier. That's true. I did. So 19th of June.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, that would be tough.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I'll bear it all out.
That'll be good.
No holds back.
People are really looking forward to that already.
Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thank you for listening to the show.
Starr 103.5 FM. Simply the best.